You have been practicing here for already 2 weeks. And you have been listening about the Satipatthana in this 2 weeks retreat. So today I'm going to talk about one discourse from Samyutta Nikaya, a discourse on a simile of lock, Daru Khandopama Sutta. As we have been practicing here Satipatthana Bhavana, mindfulness meditation, means we are developing the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path is the 3 trainings: morality, concentration, and wisdom. In the morality group, there are 3 factors: right speech, right action, and right livelihood. And when you observe, when you keep the precepts, means the morality is already fulfilled. And the concentration group is right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. When you are following the instructions, you are putting effort to note every arising objects in that very moment. Right effort is present. And because of right effort, there arises mindfulness. And when there is mindfulness, concentration is developed. So these 3 factors, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, it is the concentration group. So because your mind is concentrated, you come to see the very true natures of the object. So seeing or knowing the very true nature of the objects observed or noted is right view or right understanding, samadhi. And you will come to know the very true nature of the objects only if the mind reaches to the object, only if the mind falls on the object, only if you can direct the noting mind towards the object. So directing or focusing or aiming or sending the mind to the object is Samma Sankappa, which is also called Vitakka. It is Samma Sankappa, right thought. So without the help of right thought, Samma Sankappa, wisdom or right understanding may not arise. One cannot see the things as they are. Therefore, these 2 factors, Samma Sankappa, right thought, and Samma Ditti, right understanding, is in the wisdom group, Panya. So when you are observing the presently arising objects with full attention, with effort, then you are developing the Noble Eightfold Path. So among that Noble Eightfold Path, Samma Ditti, right understanding, that is very important, because right understanding is the Panya, wisdom. This is the knowledge. So if you continue to practice, the wisdom will be developed. The Vipassana knowledges will arise stage by stage, and you will realize the path and fruition knowledge. So right understanding inclines towards Nibbana. Right understanding inclines towards the Nibbana. It is important, very important, to realize Nibbana, gaining path and fruition knowledge. So in the discourse, a simile of luck. One time, the Buddha was reciting at the bank of river Ganges, Ganga in Pali, and he was accompanied by 500 monks. And at that time, the Buddha saw a very big log carried away by the current of river. So he told the monks whether they also saw that a very big log which is carried along by the current of the river. And the monks said, yes, they saw it. And then the Buddha told them, the Buddha preached them that, oh monks, if that log is not caught by the near bank, if that log is not caught by the far bank, means either side, this side and that side. And if it is not submerged under the water in the river, and if it is not land on a small island in the middle of river, and if it is not taken away by human beings, if it is not taken away by devas, and if it is not sink into a pool, and if it is not become decomposed or decayed, then what will happen? That log, which is carried along by the current of river, will reach in the ocean. So here, the 8 things not caught in the near bank and far bank. not submerged in the under the water, not land on a small island in the middle of the river, not taken away by human beings, not taken away by devas, and it is not sink into a old pool, and it is not become decomposed. So if this log is not free of any one of these 8 faults, then it will not reach the ocean. Only if this log is free of these 8 faults, then it will reach the ocean. This is the simile the Buddha told the monks, the 500 monks. And among the 500 monks, one monk asked the Buddha, then what does it mean, Bhante? The log is caught in the either side of the river, the near bank of the river and the far bank of the river. What does it mean? Please explain it. A monk requested the Buddha. And the Buddha said that the log that is carried along by the current of a river, what does it mean? The log is compared to the beings, let's say here, human beings. And when we say human beings, here we should know that human beings means the physicality and mentality, psychophysical phenomena, mind and matter. So the log is compared to human beings means physical and mental phenomena. And near bank or this side of the river, it refers to the 6 sense doors or 6 sense bases. And other side of the river or the far bank of the river refers to the 6 types of sense objects. And submerged under the water, that means attachment, delight, desire, lost. And landing on the small island in the middle of the river, it means conceit or pride. Taken away by the beings means associating with other people improperly, associating with others, other people improperly. And taken away by the devas, that means doing all sorts of wholesome deeds in order to reborn in Deva world or Brahma world. And sinking means indulging in the sensual pleasures and becoming decomposed or decayed means pretending or dishonesty. So how we are caught? How can we be caught in the near bank or far bank of the river, either side of the rivers? So there are 6 sense doors. We have eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. These are called 6 sense doors or 6 sense bases. These are the bases for the mind or consciousness to occur. Without these bases, mind will not arise. Mind needs a base to arise. So let's say eye. Through eye, we see visible objects. These visible objects is the other side of the river. Visible objects. Through eye, we see the objects. In general, we say, my eyesight is good, so I can see the things clearly because my eyesight is good. Means the eye sees the visible objects, but actually this physical eye cannot see the objects. Only our mind or consciousness sees the objects, visible objects. But we need the help of eye. So the mind, consciousness, sees the visible objects with the help of eye. And when we see the visible objects, depending on that object, desirable or undesirable, the defilements may arise if we are not mindful at that time. If we see the desirable objects, desire or attachment may arise. If we see undesirable objects, anger may arise. So if we are not mindful in seeing visible objects, attachment, desire, or anger, such defilements may arise. It can arise. That means we are caught by the near bank of the river and a far bank of the river. And sometimes when our eyesight is good, we are delighted. Oh, my eyesight is very good. My eye is very powerful. I don't need to wear glasses because my eye is very good, still very good. I can see even small things, small objects, I can see very clearly. We are delighted. And sometimes mana, conceit may arise. I am good in seeing the things because my eyesight is very good. So if this type of thoughts arise, then other defilements may also arise. So when this type of defilements occurs, regarding this eyesight, that means we are caught. We are caught by this side of the river. Same goes to the other sense basis, ear. When we can hear even a small sound, when we can hear a sound from the far distance, we said that my ear is still very good. I can even hear a very, very small sound. And we are delighted. And sometimes if we could not hear even a loud sound because our ear is not strong, then we might feel sad also. So regarding this ear, we might have attachment or we might have anger. So if this anger attachment arises concerning this ear, then we are caught by this side of river. Same goes to nose, tongue, body, and mind. So whenever the sense objects, the visible forms, visible objects, sounds, smell, tongue, taste, tangible objects, and mind objects, they appears in the six sense doors if we are mindful, then there will not be a chance for defilements to occur. If we are not mindful, then there will be a chance for the defilements to enter into the stream of consciousness. So when defilements enter, it means we are caught by the both sides of river, both banks of river. But if we are mindful, then we are not caught by the near bank or far bank of the rivers. Then we can reach to the ocean. So what does the ocean means here? Here the ocean means the ocean of Nibbana. Nibbana is compared to the ocean. So if we are not attached or if we are not angry, whenever the sense objects appear in the six sense doors, then we reach the ocean of Nibbana. But in contrast, if we are attached, if we are angry, whenever those sense objects appear in the six sense doors, then we are far from the Nibbana. We will not reach Nibbana, the ocean of Nibbana. And what does It means when submerged under the water. Submerging under the water means being attached, attachment. In Pali, it is Nandi Raga, taking delight in the sensual objects, living beings or non-living beings, and craving for it. Nandi Raga, taking delight in it and craving for it. It is tanha, craving. So whenever we have this craving, tanha, it means we are submerged under the water. Different types of tanha are mentioned in the text. Craving for sensual pleasures. Always crave for the sensual pleasures, kama tanha. Craving for existence, bhava tanha, craving for existence. And craving for non-existence, vibhava tanha. Craving for sensual pleasures, always having a desire for pleasurable sense objects, good sense objects. Always wants to see good things, wants to hear good sounds, wants to smell fragrance, wants to taste good food, good flavor, wants to have good touch, and also taking delight in thinking or imagining. So always craving for the sensual pleasures. That is kama tanha. And when one always crave for the sensual pleasures, he tries to get it. And when he get it, he enjoy it, and he forget to do the wholesome deeds. So enjoying these sensual pleasures sometimes he may fall down or he may reborn in the lower states. Once he reborn in the lower states, it is not easy to come out from that lower states. He will suffer for many, many years in that lower states. Especially a person who craves for non-existence, because this is a kind of wrong view. They do not perform the wholesome deeds. They do not perform the meritorious deeds. So when they reborn in lower states, it is not easy for them to come out from that lower states. That means they have a very little chance, or they may not have a chance. In lower states, they do not have a chance. They do not have a chance to perform wholesome deeds. So they cannot practice this high level wholesome deeds, satipatthana, vipassana bhavana. And because of that, they will not reach the ocean of Nibbana. And landing on small island in the middle of the river means conceit, having conceit or pride. Asmi mana, means I am. I am the one. I am the best. So I am good at everything. I am always correct. So asmi mana, always I. I am. I am the best one. I know everything. So that type of, when someone has that type of mana or conceit, especially when he thinks that I know everything, then he will not learn from others. He will not learn, especially the high level wholesome deeds. They will not learn how to practice, and they will not practice. So if they will not practice, then they will not develop the Noble Eightfold Path, and they will not reach the ocean of Nibbana. So this conceit is also very dangerous. It's a big danger for us. Even having opportunity to practice, born as a human being, if we have conceit that I know everything, I am the best, then we will not learn from others. We will not try to find out about this high level practice. So that means the log, which is carried along by the current of water, now land on the small island in the middle of the river, then this log will not reach the ocean. Same way, when we have that type of asmi mana, pride or conceit, then we will not practice this high level meditation, and we will not develop the Noble Eightfold Path, especially the right understanding, and we will not reach the ocean of Nibbana. And taken away by human beings, it means associating with others improperly. In the text, the Buddha told the monks that, because this discourse the Buddha is giving especially to the monks. So the Buddha said that if a monk or the ordained people, they are entangled with the lay people improperly, if they are involving in the lay people's household, house affairs, lay people's affairs, if they are taking delight, if they are happy when lay people are happy, if they are sad when lay people are sad. So entangle with lay people that way means taken away by human beings, because when they are entangled with lay people improperly, they will not practice. They will not do this Satipatthana Bhavana. But here we have to be clear. We have to be careful. We have to understand clearly that Buddha does not mean that you should not happy when other people are happy. Buddha does not mean that. Yeah, when you find when you see other people happy, you also should be happy. But not that happy is not the happy, happy associated with tanha, attachment. That happy should be the wholesome kind of happy. That is the joy, the sympathetic joy, mudita. Yeah, sympathetic joy. When you see other people's success, you can have a joy, the sympathetic joy, mudita. And when you see other people suffering, what should you have? Yeah, you should have karuna, yeah, compassion. If we are sad when we see others suffered, the sadness is the nature of dosa, anger, which is the unwholesome mental factor. But if we have a compassion when we see others suffered, that means this compassion, karuna, is a wholesome mental factor. But instead of having this compassion and sympathetic joy, if one is happy with raga or attachment, and if one is sad, that means someone is taken away by human beings. But in the practice, when in the retreat, how can the meditators be taken away by human beings? How can the meditators be taken away by the human beings? When you are a meditator, when you are under retreat, your duty is to observe the presently arising objects. So instead of being mindful all the time, if you are making friends with other yogis, if you are talking with others, if you are associating with fellow yogis, if you are involving in their affairs, that means you lose your mindfulness. You lose your mindfulness sometimes for a long time. So when you lose your mindfulness, you will not develop Noble Eightfold Path. So you will not reach to the ocean of Nibbana. Therefore, when you are in the intensive retreat, you should not making friends while you are doing intensive retreat. After the retreat, it is okay. But while you are doing retreat, you should not associate with the fellow yogis. If you are not associating with fellow yogis, it means you are not taken away by the human beings. And another point is taken away by devas. This means that when we perform the wholesome actions, our aim our purpose or our objective of performing these wholesome actions should be for a nibbana. Yeah, whatever wholesome actions like dana, generosity, sila, morality, or bhavana, mental development practice, whatever wholesome actions we do, we perform, our purpose should be nibbana. May this wholesome action be a cause in attaining nibbana. But sometimes some people, when they perform those wholesome actions in order to reborn in Deva world, in order to reborn in Brahma world. Yeah, and they may achieve their aim, they may achieve what they want, and they reborn in the Deva world or the Brahma world. But their life, their samsara, will be even more longer. Even more longer. And when they are traveling in the samsara, they might commit some unwholesome actions. And when they commit unwholesome actions, they may fall down again. They may reborn under lower states where they will not have any chance to do the wholesome actions. So they will not reach the ocean of Nibbana. And another is sinking into the, I don't know how to pronounce this word, very difficult. WHIRLPOOL, whirlpool, correct? Okay, it's very difficult, my tongue. Sinking into the whirlpool. So it means indulging in the 5 kinds of sensual pleasures. Always indulging in the 5 kinds of sensual pleasures. So enjoying, always enjoying the sensual pleasures. They are just pursuing the sensual pleasures. They do not do any good deeds. They do not practice. Always pursuing the sensual pleasures. So when one is enjoying in sensual pleasures, he forgets to do the wholesome deeds. He forgets especially this satipatthana practice. That is why there are very few people practicing vipassana practice. There are very few people practicing. Yeah. So therefore, when people are just enjoying the sensual pleasures, they do not practice the Satipatthana Bhavana, then how can they reach the ocean of Nibbana? They cannot. They cannot reach the Nibbana. So that is also the one danger. Yeah. And the last one is decomposed, becoming decomposed or decayed. What does it mean? It means pretending, dishonesty. Yeah. Some people, although they are practicing, but some people, they just pretend to be a good in everywhere, in all aspects. They pretend to be a good. Although they are not virtuous, they pretend to be a virtuous one. Although their concentration is not good, they pretend to be a very concentrated person. Although they do not gain any knowledge, any wisdom, but they pretend. So this means they are not honest. They are dishonest. So when people are not honest, they are deceiving themselves. They are deceiving themselves, not others. They are deceiving themselves. So they could not practice correctly. They will not be in the right track because they are not putting effort. Sometimes there might be some yogis that they are, when there is other people looking at them, when other people are checking at them, they pretend to be very mindful. But when there is nobody, they lose their mindfulness. And sometimes there are some people that when they report about their practice, there are some people, I'm not talking about you, huh? There are some people who do not put effort in the practice, and especially when there are 2-3 people in the same room, when they are reporting, and during interview time, 2-3 people come together to report, and they listen to the first yogi, what he report, and they add something in that. Actually, they are not practicing diligently, and they are not experiencing in the practice, but when they come for the report, and sometimes they heard in the Dhamma talks, so they just report that to the teacher. So that is the dishonesty. They are not honest. So honesty is very important. Dishonesty is also the one factor, the one important factor in gaining the vipassana knowledges and path and fruition knowledge, like a right effort. There are 5 factors, and this honesty is also the one. Honesty is also the one factor. So pretending is not good. Pretending is deceiving oneself. So when one pretends to be virtuous, although one is not virtuous, when one pretends to be a very good in the practice, although he is not doing good in the practice, that means he is far from the Nibbana, the ocean of Nibbana. Therefore, pretending as a good, although he is not, it is like decayed insidely. So when the log is decayed on the way, then that log will not reach the ocean. Same way, especially in the practice, when the meditators are dishonest, they are not practicing well, but they still pretend that they are practicing well. That means they are decomposed internally, so they will not reach the ocean of Nibbana. So here the Buddha said that if one is free of these 8 faults, then surely one will reach the ocean of Nibbana, the cessation of the sufferings. Therefore, may you all be able to be free of these 8 types of faults so that you will reach Nibbana, the cessation of all sufferings. That's all for today.